Alright, so I figure what I'm gonna do is just tell stories. I got a couple good ones, nothing crazy. Um but I don't think I'm gonna tell a story this episode. I think I'm just gonna, well, I guess there's stories. I'm gonna tell about each one of my scars. Um I mean, I have one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. I have 9. I guess we'll go from the toe up. So I have this one. Actually, this would be the only scar I'm going to show you because the camera won't pick it up. But I think you'll pick up this one. I don't know if you see that, but there's a big white spot on my ankle. So what ended up happening with that one is I was just sitting there skating, and I'm like, well, maybe I can just ride this off some. And I rid it off, and I ended up slamming down in the front of the. I had razor tail and it was backwards because I was just trying pop shove it down stuff, and I slammed into the side of my ankle and just shredded my skin, and now it's a scar. I have one on like my shin bone. Uh, I think that was just from me skating, and then I slammed into a rock and slid. The one on my knee, that I don't like. I have two on my knee actually. One's on the right side, one's on the left side. The one on the left side, that's from. I had to go to the hospital about something about that. Like, it was really disgusting. I take medicine and everything. I think it was just it was originally just a wound, and then it got infected. Luckily, took care of it, so now it's all good. I have this one on the right of my kneecap. It's, I'd be totally honest, I don't know what it's caused from. I kind of think that's funny. I have one on top of my arm right here. Camera might pick that one up. I don't know. It's from a dog biting me, and it was a Marley. Really cool dog, but he'd attack you if you did something wrong. Uh, I have this one right here. Um, that one, I think me and my friends were running through the woods, and I jumped through a palm frond like this, and just ended up slicing one of my arms. Um, Funny thing is, it healed over. It healed over, and there was just a black spot, and like all the way to the right of it, and just stayed black. And I let it, and the skin healed and everything. Like, couldn't tell what happened. Like, you could see the scarring on the left side, but it was just randomly black on the right side. So I'm sitting there in math class, and I'm bored. Math isn't my thing. So I start digging it out, and I'm like picking my skin off, like basically like just fine skin, and I ended up taking it out, and it was like a thorn about that big, just in my arm for a couple months. Um, it's kind of nasty. I had to dig it out with my teeth and everything. There wasn't any. It wasn't like gushing blood, so I didn't get any blood in like my teeth. And then I have one on my armpit from when I was born. I was born with complications, and my lungs collapsed, so they had to get in there and cut that open. But yeah, this is the story of my scars. I mean, that's about it. Oh wait, no, I didn't tell the ones on my elbow. Okay, yeah. This one, kind of see it, whatever. That one's from me skating, and I was trying to do a manual down this ramp, and I was trying to clear the entire ramp. It was a pretty long ramp. at some church, and I did a manual, like all the way down it, and then I decided to go longer and try to hit some parking spaces too, just to, further the manual. And I ended up hitting a rock, and I was going pretty fast because the ramp was pretty decent. I slammed into it, and I skidded just my arm. And then, funny thing is, these two scars, they connect. So it looks like a V. Um, the second one was caused later, and the first one's already like, it wasn't scar tissue yet, but it was getting there. So I thought that was kind of funny. I got two scars in like the same, I don't know, month. Um, but yeah, I scarred up, and I was going down a hill, and I don't know if you ever been to Mount Dora. That's where I used to live. I was bombing this hill, and I couldn't slow down, because then I would have definitely fell. And I was bombing this hill, and a car almost hit me, so I swerved, like, out from it, because the light, okay, I was crossing a red light, so it was my fault. I went when it was a red light. I thought I was clear. I wasn't, obviously. So I swerved to the left and then to the right, and I was already like shooken up by that, but I was still going down the hill, and I turned right down a road, and I went left through this alley. But when I was going left in the alley, I put too much pressure on my back tire, and the board just slung out from under me. And I remember doing a roll and then slamming into a wall. And I got up. And my friends were like a street back on top of a building, just looking at me, and they were laughing. I got up and I was laughing. I mean, it was a funny situation. It hurt, trust me, it did. But I just thought it was funny. I don't know why. Whenever that stuff happens, I just kind of got to laugh it off. Not much you can do. Wow, major voice crack. Yeah, that's the story of my scars.